So, I just got back from seeing, and wow, just wow. This is a movie I've been waiting for a very long time. The original completely changed the game for zombie films back in 2002. It wasn't just a horror movie, it was this raw, intense, and deeply human story. It introduced us to the concept of the infected, not the slow, shambling undead, but fast, terrifying, rage-filled humans. Danny Boyle created something truly special with that film, and its sequel expanded that world in a brutal and explosive way. Now all these years later we finally get to return to that universe, and the big question on everyone's mind was, could it possibly live up to the legacy? I'm here to tell you that it absolutely does, and in some ways, it even pushes the boundaries further. The film opens, and you immediately feel that familiar sense of dread. The music, the cinematography, it all pulls you right back in. It doesn't waste any time recapping everything for you. Instead, it trusts that the audience remembers the pure chaos of the rage virus. It trusts that you remember the empty streets of London and the sheer panic of those first few days. This new story feels like a natural continuation, a dark new chapter rather than a simple rehash of what came before. It acknowledges the passage of time, not just for the audience, but for the world within the film. The nearly 3 decades that have passed have shaped this new reality in ways that are both expected and shockingly surprising, creating a foundation for a story that feels earned and necessary. What makes this return so effective is the respect it shows for the original material. The filmmakers clearly understand what made the first 2 movies so iconic. It's not just about the running infected, although they are definitely back and more terrifying than ever. It's about the atmosphere. It's about the quiet moments of desperation punctuated by sudden, heart-stopping violence. This isn't a mindless action flick, it's a survival thriller that gets under your skin and stays there. The movie manages to capture that grainy, documentary-style realism that made feel so immediate and visceral. You feel like you are right there, running alongside the characters, and that's a testament to the incredible direction and vision behind the project. From the very first scene, the film sets a tone that is both nostalgic and terrifyingly new. It acknowledges the long gap between installments and uses it to its advantage. The world has not healed, it has festered. The problems haven't gone away, they've mutated into new, more complex threats. This isn't just a simple sequel made to cash in on a popular name, it feels like a story that needed to be told, a final powerful statement on the themes of survival, humanity, and the enduring nature of rage. Walking out of the theater, I felt that same mix of exhaustion and exhilaration that I did all those years ago. It's a powerful return to form for a franchise that defined a generation of horror. The setting of is one of its strongest elements. The film takes us far beyond the confines of Great Britain, showing us a world that has been irrevocably scarred by the rage virus. While the initial outbreak was contained to the UK, the long-term consequences are global. We see pockets of civilization struggling to survive, not just against the infected, but against each other. The film paints a bleak but fascinating picture of a fractured humanity. Fortified zones exist, separated by vast, dangerous dead lands. These are places where nature has reclaimed cities and the silence is only ever broken by the screams of the infected who still hunt there. This global perspective adds a whole new layer of depth to the series. The pandemic itself has evolved. The virus is no longer the only threat. The real danger now is the fragility of the new world order. Governments are fragmented, resources are incredibly scarce, and paranoia runs rampant. The film explores the idea that even without the infected, humanity might have torn itself apart anyway. The fortified zones are less like safe havens and more like prisons, ruled by fear and strict martial law. There's a constant tension between the desire for safety and the longing for freedom. The visual storytelling is incredible here, showing us bustling, desperate markets in one scene, and then cutting to the haunting emptiness of a city that has been abandoned for decades. It's a world that feels lived in and completely terrifying. What is so compelling about this vision of the future is its believability. The filmmakers have thought through the long-term effects of such a catastrophe. How would society rebuild? What new beliefs and factions would emerge from the ashes? We see communities that have become almost cult-like in their isolation, and others that have resorted to brutal tribalism to survive. The infected are still a primary threat, a force of nature that can wipe out a settlement in minutes. But the film smartly suggests that the true horror lies in what people are willing to do to each other to secure one more day of life. The landscape is not just physically dangerous, it is morally treacherous as well. This expanded world-building is what makes Feel so epic in scope. It's not just a small group of survivors running through London anymore, it's a story about the fate of the entire human race. The film takes us on a journey across different continents, each with its own unique set of challenges and its own strain of desperation. The scale is massive, yet the story remains intensely personal and character-driven. The world is bigger, the stakes are higher, and the terrifying realization that there is no safe place left to run is at the core of the film's chilling atmosphere. You get a real sense that this is the final, desperate chapter in humanity's fight for survival. The film introduces us to a new group of characters, and they are the heart and soul of this story. Our main protagonist is a young woman named Lena. She was born years after the initial outbreak, so the world of walls and fear is the only one she has ever known. She is tough, resourceful, and deeply cynical about the world. However, she also carries a secret hope for something better, a desire to see the world that was lost. Her journey is the central focus of the film, as she is forced to venture out into the dangerous unknown. Her character is incredibly well written, and you feel her fear, her determination, and her moments of vulnerability. She isn't a superhero, she's a survivor, and that makes her relatable and compelling. Alongside Lena is a man named Elias, a veteran survivor from the original outbreak. He is older now, haunted by the ghosts of his past and the things he had to do to stay alive. He acts as a reluctant mentor to Lena, his experience providing a stark contrast to her youthful, albeit naive, perspective. The dynamic between them is fantastic. He sees the world for what it is, a brutal, unforgiving place, while she still dares to dream of what it could be. Their relationship is complex, filled with conflict and moments of genuine connection. He carries the weight of the previous films, serving as a living link to the horrors that started it all, making the threat feel all the more real and immediate. The supporting cast is equally strong, featuring a diverse group of individuals who join Lena and Elias on their perilous journey. Each character brings a different perspective to the table. There's a pragmatic engineer who knows how to navigate the ruins of the old world, and a former doctor who is still searching for a cure, clinging to a sliver of hope. These characters aren't just there to be cannon fodder for the infected. They have their own motivations, their own fears, and their own backstories. The film takes its time to develop them, so when they are put in danger, you genuinely care about what happens to them. This focus on character is what elevates the movie beyond a simple monster flick. The challenges these characters face are immense and multi-layered. Obviously, they have to deal with the infected, and the action sequences are incredibly intense and well choreographed. But their biggest struggles are often internal and interpersonal. They have to learn to trust each other in a world where trust can get you killed. They battle with despair, with the moral compromises of survival, and with the question of what it even means to be human anymore. The film puts them through the ringer, both physically and emotionally. It's their resilience and their struggle to hold on to their humanity that makes their story so powerful and engaging. You're not just watching them survive, you're rooting for them to live. What really makes Stand Out in a very crowded genre is its unwavering focus on the human element. Yes, the movie is scary. The scenes with the infected are some of the most intense and terrifying I've seen in years. The sound design alone will have you jumping out of your seat. And yes, the movie is absolutely packed with action. The chase sequences are breathtaking and the fight for survival is brutal and relentless. But underneath all the blood and chaos, this is a deeply emotional film. It's a story about hope in the face of utter despair. It's about connection, loss, and the unbreakable spirit of people who refuse to give up even when all seems lost. This film is special because it dares to be quiet. In between the frantic bursts of horror, there are long stretches of silence where the characters are just trying to process their reality. These moments are what make the movie so impactful. You see the toll that this world has taken on them. You feel their exhaustion, their grief, and their fleeting moments of joy. The director understands that true horror isn't always about a monster jumping out at you. Sometimes it's about the quiet dread of knowing that you are utterly alone and that help is not coming. This balance between high-octane action and poignant character drama is what makes the film a masterpiece of the genre. Compared to other zombie movies, feels more grounded, more real. It avoids the typical tropes and cliches. It's less about the spectacle of a zombie apocalypse and more about the psychological toll of living through it. The film asks tough questions. What is the price of survival? Is a life lived in constant fear truly a life worth living? It doesn't offer easy answers, instead leaving the audience to ponder these ideas long after the credits roll. The ending, in particular, is powerful and thought-provoking, providing a sense of closure to the saga, while also acknowledging that the struggle is never truly over. It's a smart, sophisticated horror film for a modern audience. So, who would enjoy this film? Honestly, if you are a fan of the original, this is an absolute must-see. It's the sequel we've been waiting for, and it delivers on every level. But even if you're new to the series, I think you'll find a lot to love here. If you enjoy intelligent, character-driven thrillers that are as emotional as they are scary, then this movie is for you. It's for people who appreciate filmmaking that takes risks and respects its audience. It is intense, it is brutal, but it is also beautiful and deeply moving. It's not just one of the best zombie movies ever made, it's one of the best films of the year. Go see it.